Hey there, how's it going? Welcome to Looplearnings. And in this video, this is second video of the series. We are working on creating the POS system. And in this video, I'm going to continue making the relationships and perhaps we'll make one or two forms. So we'll transition slowly towards the user interface. But first, I'm going to create the relationship. Now, before I begin demonstrating all of that, I would like to ask and say, if you are returning to my channel, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, welcome to Loop Learnings. And make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you end up liking whatever you will see, make sure you like the content, comments as well. This helps the YouTube algorithm to know that this video is useful. And also, if you want, early access, I'm sure, because you are using you're seeing this video first, maybe perhaps you have a joined membership to the channel. So the benefit is I will give you access to this file and the Excel document which I use to create the database schema, but I need to figure it out, how do I share it anyway. So what we are going to do, as I said, I'm going to create the relationship. To do that, we'll go to directly to database tools and we'll see relationships, right? So we'll click on that, and we are going to get all the tables, and then we are going to link them. We're going to create one to many relationships. That's the most common type of relationships that is created. There are others, many to many, one to one, but in this particular video series or in this application, we only need one type of relationship, one to many. So let's fetch this. So let's say we'll fetch a category table, customers table, inventory table, payments table, okay, products table, sales item table, sales table right there, and then user table. All right. So let's create a relationship. Relationships are backbone of any relational database. That's why this is called relational, because it has the relationships created. Right. So what relationships? So let's say we are going to link. So my style is I start with the first table from the top and then I go on gradually. So category ID here is a primary key, but we know there is a category ID in the products table as well. So let's drag and drop. The moment you do that, the moment you drop it, it will give you a pop-up. It will say, hey, you are about to create one to many relationships. You can see what type of relationship is being created. And so you can provide this option. For example, enforce referential integrity. What does that mean? That means you can't select a category ID from the user interface, or you can't provide an information, probably in a open text box. If it is, in our case, it is not going to be. But if it is an open text box and you have to put a number, ID number or something, and if that ID does not exist in categories table, it will throw an error. It will say, hey, this record does not exist in the relationships table. So that's what this enforce referential integrity does. Also, it is good idea to click on cascade updated related fields. What does that mean? For example, let's say if the category name is I'm just taking an example, fast food. If that's the name of the category, tomorrow if somebody changes the name to fast food, new, something like that, that will reflect in all of the records that are created in products table. So that's what this cascading of the updated information will be done. I usually avoid cascade delete a related record. This is very handy, but in some of the situations, so I avoid that. So I thought I'll give you a little bit overview of this this pop-up window and what's important in here, and that's why I gave a little bit of explanation. Now let's go ahead and click on create, and you can see that one to many relationships are created. Now let's move on to the customers table. So we have customer ID, customer name, and where do we see customer? Well, we should see customer in the sales table right here. So customers table, customer ID would be primary key. We'll drag and drop right here and we'll select both options. We'll click create. Let's move on to the next table, which is the product ID. Product ID here under the in the inventory table, product ID is a foreign key. All right. And now we are going to find where is the primary key. Of course, it will be residing under the products table. So let's drag and drop, not this one, product ID, drag and drop right here. All right. Let's click create. Okay, that's done. I don't think anything else we need to look at. So now let's move to products table. In the products table, we've got product ID, product description, category ID. I think not. We don't need to do anything else apart from creating these two relationships which we have created. Now let's move on to the payments table. We do have sales ID. That is obviously a foreign key, and primary key is in a sales table. Sale ID. We will create that relationship. What else? Payment type, payment due. Everything is there. Everything is fine. No problem at all. Sales item. We will link this sales item table to the sales table, so we can see sales ID and then sale ID in both of the tables, same name, and we'll click on create. Product ID. I think product ID. Oh, I said it's not required, but there you go. Product ID right here, and we will click create. Cool. So the relationship's created. Now, do we have anything here? Yes, user ID. Which user has created this sales order? So we'll link that to the users table in user ID in the users table. What else? Is there anything else? Customer ID, user ID, sale rate? No, everything seems to be okay. All right. So I think our one-to-many relationships are created. If I have missed anything, I would definitely know what did I miss, but I don't think at the moment I can see there's nothing missed. So great, awesome. Let's save that and let's close it. So we've successfully created database and we have successfully created the relationships for this database. Now, let's move on and create a form. Now, what I'm going to do is obviously this is a start of making user interface. So we'll create a form. And how about keeping the form as unbound form? That is always helpful. And I really like unbound form because they are useful forms, type of forms as well. So we are going to gradually create and gradually we will move towards creating dashboards and login page and everything else. But I think let's create forms for these tables first. Obviously, not everything I'm going to demonstrate in this video. There will be one or two form I'll be demonstrating here in this video, and then remaining we will go on um, with the further videos, and I will demonstrate. So I think let's first start with the smallest form, and that would be categories T. All right, so because it has only one field which needs to be updated by the user. So let's go ahead and create a form. So to do that, I'll click on create. And then like we have used the tables area to create a table, we're going to do the same thing for the forms. But this, we are going to click on form design and we'll get this blank form. Right away, what I do is I basically get rid of the, if I go to the form view, I get rid of this record selector and I get rid of this navigation as well. Okay, so we're going to do some housekeeping for a form. We'll go to format, we'll keep it single, default view is single form. We want to keep it that way. Let's move to auto center. Yes, so whenever the form opens, it automatically opens in the center of the screen. So we'll turn that on. Auto resize, fit to screen, yeah, all of that will, we're fine. Record selector will turn off, navigation buttons will turn off, and scroll bars at the moment it says both, but we don't need because this is a single form. What else? And if we'll go to the others tab, we are going to make it as a pop-up form, and modal is yes. Cycle all record. Right now we will select current record. What do we mean by cycle all records or current records? Cycle mean if you keep pressing tab, if it is current record, it will not, the form will not move to the next record because you have selected by default this cycle should be only for current record. But if it is all records, then you keep pressing tab and it will go to the last field and then it will move to the next record. I think this is why, this is what it means. All right, so current record, we are going to keep it. Perfect. Now we'll save the form. We'll call it categories F for form. All right. Let's hit enter. And now we'll go to the form view. There you go. Okay, there are a few more things we can see right away. We can see that these maximize, minimize buttons are there. If you want to keep, no problem, you can. But I usually, for a single form, I usually hide these or disable these maximize or minimize buttons. And then we can see the caption also is kind of categories F. It's the same thing as a form name. So let's go ahead and fix that. So we'll go to the caption and we'll say product categories. All right, so that's the name of the form. The caption, it will appear in that way. And we want to hide or disable maximize and minimize, right? So we'll go here and we'll say minimize, min max buttons both enabled right now. let's make them none. All right. Now, if we'll open the form, what we'll see is a more cleaner look. We see the name of the form, what it meant for, and then we have only the close button. Perfect. Now let's go to the design view and let's uh, link a data to this form. So we'll go on the data, a record source. So let's fetch the categories T table, and let's fetch the existing fields. There are only two, as I said. There you go. We're going to select those two, right click, layout, and we'll stack them. The next thing we are going to do is change from Aptos to Calibri. All right, so I think this should be fine, and we'll make it font, we'll make it black. That's about it. We will say category ID, category name. Okay, and there you go. And in here, we're going to increase the width a little bit. Maybe we can increase the height of these text boxes also. We'll select both. And in here, the height is 0.511 centimeters. We'll change that to, let's say, 0.7. You can see that height has increased. We can scroll down. The text is not in the middle of text box. So let's make a margin 0.05. All right, not really, but let's say 0.07. There you go. We can see a little bit different. Now, if we'll go to the form view, yeah, the fields are here. It looks a little blank. Not really liking it. So let's go to design view and we will reduce the height of this form as well. We'll right click and we'll bring the form header or footer. Okay. So we'll bring this. There you go. And now we can see that it looks a little better, right? So we'll go to design view, we'll get a button, and the button will be save, and then we'll have update and maybe mark. No, it's not inactive, is not correct. So we'll say save. I think that should be enough, right? Save and then update two buttons. So let's go here. We'll fetch the buttons control and we'll cancel that, and we will change the font. Okay, I will make it 10. There you go. And we will change the format style, and let's select that. Okay, we can change the shape outline, the line thickness. We can make it more thinner. Okay, so I think we are on the way to create this or complete these forms. Okay, so let's give a name, save, and we'll change the name here, btn save, and we will have a picture of a floppy disk, and we want general, so we can see the icon and the text of the button as well. So let's copy, paste, and this would be update button. Okay, so we'll say btn update. There you go. But we can change the icon, and let's say we'll have this check mark, the green check mark somewhere here. I think so. And I'm going to select that. There you go, this one. Okay, we have successfully created form. Let's make this category ID, because we are not going to do the manual entry, right? I mean, it is going to be manual entry, but we are not going to assign the category ID manually. So I'm going to get rid of this, because we want to make the form unbound. So let's go here, go to the data tab. Let's get rid of the table as well. And then we are going to make this field as a non-editable field. And we're going to give a little shade so people knows that they cannot update this particular field. So there you go. We have two buttons. We have a form. We have the field names. All right. Now let's go ahead and go to design view. Perhaps we will do a little bit of VB as well. So let's go to save button. We'll go to the event tab and we'll say on click event dot 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 code builder. And in here, what we are going to do is we are going to say if nz and me dot category name equals empty, then do cmd dot beep message box, please provide the category name, something like that. Okay, comma vb information, comma and then the header would be information as well. If the information is provided, then we'll go ahead and save the record. But to save record, because this is a unbound form, we are going to use this record sets to save the record in the table. And to do that, we have to declare. So for example, we'll come here, dim rs new or rs add as a record set. Okay, set rs add equal current db dot open record set parenthesis open parenthesis close, and we're going to give a name of this table, categories t. All right, so we're going to save in here, and we are going to say, well, because we are going to add the records, we'll make sure that we'll say db open dynaset. Okay, so that's very important. Once we have done this bit, if you are wondering what I have done, let me explain. So because this form is a unbound form, these fields are unbound field, they are not linked to any database table. We have to move the data, whatever the data the user will type in here, we will use that take that information and we will save it here. And to do that, we will use record sets, and this is how you use record sets. Okay, first you declare variable rs add, then you say rs add equals to the record sets. And what is the name of record set? It could be query, could be table. In this case, it is table. Now we are going to go ahead and add the record. How do we do that? Well, we'll say rs add dot add new, and I will close that as well, rs add dot update. And we'll say, for example, we'll say category name. That's it. Rs add exclamation mark category name equals me dot category name. So what I've done here with this line of code is I'm asking access to take whatever information user has written here and then save it in this table under its respective field name, category name. So that's what I'm doing with this one line of code. Okay, once this is done, then I would suggest you go ahead and bring the id number onto this form, because this form is sorry, this field is going to be empty in the beginning. Once you hit save, then the id, which whatever id is created here in the category id field, will be populated right here in the category id field onto the form. So how do you do that? Well, I usually do this, me dot category id equal, and I use a function dmax and expression as a string and then domain. What I'm looking for? I'm looking for category id, comma, and from where I'm looking for? I'm looking for from categories t. That's the name of the table I'm referring. Okay, so I want the latest. Dmax mean the last id which is created. I want that, and I want that to be populated right here, and so I can see what reference number is created. Okay, so that's what we have done here. We will test it later on. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to go ahead and actually close this. So we'll say rs add dot close, rs add, no, set rs add equal, oh, equal nothing. Once I'm done with that, I can actually go ahead and throw a message box as well. So I'll say do cmd.beep. Okay, and I'll say not this one, come on, I'll say message box, and I'll say the product category has been created, comma, we'll say vb information, comma, information. Okay, that's great. Cool. All right, so I think we are done with the code. Let's compile that. So we're not getting any error as of now. Now let's do a code behind update button. How about that? Yeah. So we'll go to select the button, go to event tab, dot, 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 and we'll say code builder right here. So this is going to be kind of similar, but a little bit different. Okay. So if we'll say here, if nz me dot category id. In this case, in the previous, we were looking at category name, but here, because we're updating the record, we need a record unique id which is category ID, to look for in the database and make the changes that the user intend to make those changes. So that's what this line of code will do. So we'll say if it is equal to empty, then we'll say do cmd.beep message box, and it would be please choose a record to proceed further. Awesome. Okay, so that's what the message box will be critical, and then information is the header of the message box. All right, awesome. Else, and then we'll close that with end if as well. Else use the record set and update the record. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to declare a variable first. Remember, we have done that in the previous video. So I'll say dim rs update as a record set, right? And set rs update equal current db dot open record set parenthesis open parenthesis close, and we are going to give a name of the table like the way we did right here. So I'm going to copy the same, I'm going to paste right here. Okay, once I'm done with this, now I can go after else. And now the reason I said it is going to be a little change is because we have to first find the record. For example, if you have a record presented here, the ID number 52, the Microsoft Access will go in the table and try to find category ID 52. So that's where it's a little bit different. So in here, we are going to search for a record first. So we'll say rs update dot find first. And what are we finding? What are we trying to find is the category ID. Okay. So we'll say category ID equals ampersand me dot category ID. Okay, so this is what we are going to find. If rs update dot no match equal true, then what it means, if the Microsoft Access cannot find 53 category ID in the record set, then it is not going to do anything. Okay, otherwise then do nothing. Okay, so then do nothing. Else, if it found the ID, then we are going to go ahead and update the record. Okay, so we'll say rs category name equal me dot category name. So there's clearly a mistake here. We'll say rs update, okay, exclamation mark, and now everything looks fine. Awesome. Now we are going to throw a message box and we'll say do cmd.beep, the product category has been updated. All right, so I think that's done. Let's debug it. At the moment, there is no compile error. Let's go ahead and test this form. All right, so category is F. Let's click on save. Please provide the category name. Awesome. Or if you'll click on update, please choose the record to proceed further. So this, at the moment, it is working. So let's say we'll say um, household item, right? The category name is household, or we'll say food. Okay, and we'll click on save. The product has been created, and we can see right away there's a category ID number also. So we'll go to the table, we can see category ID 1 and food is also the category. Let's go ahead and update this category. Now we can't find it because we have closed the form, but update should definitely work, and it should definitely update the records. So I think that's enough for this video. I think once you understood this, now from the next video, we are going to speed up a little bit. We are going to create a lot of forms actually. So I just wanted to say thank you very much. If you are paying attention, thank you. Hopefully you have learned something from this video. If you have, let me know in the comments below. If you like whatever you have seen, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you get notification whenever I upload a new video. That's about it. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one.